There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose and a burning desire to possess it. It's been said that desire is the effort of an unexpressed possibility within, seeking expression without through our action. Now the trick here, how do we get it within? Do you know, I have heard, and you've probably heard, many sales managers, vice presidents of sales, if we could only build desire. And they say it as if they can't. The truth is, they can. You will never desire something you don't want. You will not desire it. If you're going to build desire, and desire is really the yeast that raises the dough, make no mistake about that. It's what really fuels the engine. The desire has to be there, and it has to be strong, and you can build it, and then you can add power to it. So they never develop the desire because they make the wrong decisions. Now think, when you're going after something you want, the only prerequisite, we've already covered this in decision, is do I want it? If you want it, bang, like that, you're going to make a decision to get it. You see, if you study this long enough, you're going to realize that's all we've ever got. There isn't any past, there isn't any future. That's all an illusion. They're myths. You know, why can we accomplish so much? And in a short period of time, why can we go from struggling to winning? How does this happen? There was a doctor in San Antonio, Texas, understood that, Dr. Thurman Fleet. He was very involved in the healing arts way back around 1934. And he said, you know, all problems originate in the mind, and he said they express themselves in the body. So when we treat a problem in the body, we're treating a symptom or we're treating an effect. We're not treating the cause of the problem. You got to go to the mind. Now it's what's going on in the big circle that dictates what's going to go on in the small circle. So let's take a look at the conscious mind. If you're a psych major, you know the conscious mind reasons inductively and deductively, either way, both ways. The subconscious does not. The subconscious is totally deductive. It's also immoral. It doesn't care what you plan. It has no ability to differentiate between good and bad. It cannot differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. So you can just imagine something and put it in your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind will accept it. Nothing's ridiculous. All things are possible. It's like planting something in the earth. The earth is immoral. I love the way Earl Nightingale explained it on his Strangest Secret recording. He said you can plant corn, a sweet food. Not a 16th of an inch away, you can plant nightshade, a deadly poison. One will come up with just as great an abundance as the other. Well, that's the way the subconscious mind works. Now, what we've got to understand is that the conscious mind originates the ideas. Then the subconscious mind has to put that idea in the subconscious mind. However, there's a problem. The subconscious mind has been pre-programmed. It's been pre-programmed before you were even born. And a lot of it is ridiculous information that's programmed right into the DNA. So here you are, 280 days after the moment of conception, and you make your debut on the planet, then your subconscious mind is wide open. It's white, it's like an empty cup. And you can put anything in it you want, and everything's going in. Have you ever asked yourself why people that go through school, their kids go through school? Do you ever wonder why people that quit school early, their kids usually quit school early? It's programming. It's the programming that's taking place. See, whatever goes into the subconscious mind repeatedly, over and over, becomes fixed there. We're programmed to live the way we live. You see, whatever's going on around a baby programs the baby. Do you know the self-image that we walk around with? We didn't originate that self-image. That self-image was originated when we were infants. The subconscious mind, I said, has no ability to reject. The conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject. Like if you're watching the news, you can say, well, I don't believe that. You know, somebody says there's a recession coming, you think I'm not going to participate. You know, you don't have to buy any of that. Problem is, we don't question it. Because when we're watching, we're not thinking, our mind is wide open and it's dumping right in. Now, the more we understand how this mind functions, and it's vitally important that we do, the more we're going to understand desire. The better off we're going to be for not only building a desire, but adding power to it. And the only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. Well, when we put the right words together, we build the right image. I mentioned that I sat down and I took my pen and I said, I'm going to build a company that operates all over the world. Well, I had to see that happening. I had to build it. It was a fantasy, because that's where all goals start. Your want starts out as a fantasy. Now, you're going to have a problem doing this because the paradigm doesn't want to accept it. The paradigm wants to reject it. It's not in harmony with the paradigm. The paradigm is a program in your subconscious mind. And it's a program that does not want to accept this new part that you're putting in it. Neither will your relatives or your friends or your neighbors. They'll say, who are you trying to kid? What are you acting like that for? They don't want you to change. But I'm going to tell you something. If you want to change your life, you've got to change your life. So you mentally start living it. You literally become the part. And you've got to do that over and over and over and over again. Ask yourself this question. How many times did your mother call you by name before you ever looked around thinking somebody was calling you? I don't know how many times she called Bob before I ever turned my head, but I knew she didn't just do it once or twice. It was done over and over and over and over again. Repetition is the first law of learning, and our intellect doesn't want to accept it. We say, well, I've already read it once. Read it 10,000 times. See it over and over again. And by doing this and understanding, you're going to hit something called a terror barrier. You're going to get afraid. It's going to stop you. You're going to then think, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. And you're going to look at all those 30 reasons Napoleon Hill talked about for failing. They'll all become very vibrant in your mind. Reject them. Get rid of them. Play the game with your mind. Fantasize. Then live it. Become real. And you keep getting emotionally involved. You can do this as you're going to sleep. You can do this as you're driving. You can do it anywhere. But you've got to do it. And it's through the repetition over and over and over again that you will override all that old genetic conditioning. You'll override all that environmental conditioning from when you're a child. And you will start to get emotionally involved with the goal. Don't expect it to happen tomorrow. It won't. You got to do this over and over and over again. See, it's the understanding of the battle that you're up against. You've got to learn, how has your programming been done? What is it going to do for you? If you want to know what your programming is going to do for you, just take a look at your past results. Because all your past results are nothing but an expression of somebody else's programming. It has nothing to do with what you know. You already know how to do many times better than you're doing. Knowing how to do it is not the problem. That's information that's gathered in the conscious mind. It's not the conscious mind that controls us. That's the reason why people coming out of school, prestigious degrees, no performance. The results don't match all the knowledge in their mind. Why? It's the paradigm. It's the programming. Genetic and environmental, and it's strong. Well, you've got to go past all that before you'll ever plant what you want. And every time you go to feed it, every time you go to give more energy to it, the paradigm is going to be there trying to kick it out. And it's going to give you very logical reasons why you're being silly. It's going to give you practical reasons why this won't work. And you're going to be listening to your friends, and what they're going to tell you is what you're already thinking. You don't have the money. How are you going to do it? The money's not there. The money will be there when the money has to be there if you hold the image of doing it. How did I build a company that operates all over the world? I don't know how to do it. I didn't have to know everything. Quit listening to your neighbors. Quit listening to some of your friends and relatives. They're telling you why you can't. Do you know what you want to do? Take a look at their results. Do you want their results? Because that's what their thinking is giving them. Do you want their thinking? I don't think so. When that was suggested to me, it started to become obvious. Strange thing, we asked our relatives or our next door neighbor, what do you think, Harry? Do you think I should? Harry will say, it'll never work, forget it. Go to someone who's made it work. Ask them. They'll say, no, this information's right. It has fantasy factor in it. Build the picture of what you want. You can accept or reject. Reject all ideas that will not help you get it. Only accept the ideas that will help you get it. Keep building the picture clear. Rewrite it, redream it. Then get emotionally involved. and let yourself, let is the key word. You don't try, you let yourself get emotionally involved. Become aware of how you feel, because as you let yourself get emotionally involved, you change the vibration you're in. Feeling is a word we invented to describe our conscious awareness of the vibration we're in. A person says, I don't feel very good. They're consciously aware they're in a bad vibration. They're emotionally involved with a bad idea. A person says, I feel like $1 million. They're consciously involved in a very positive idea. They're emotionally involved. Let yourself get emotionally involved with your goal. Dream it. Every time you eat, hook it into things you're doing. Every time you turn on the keys of the car. Okay? Every time you sit down at a table, let the idea of your mind flash on the screen of your mind of what you want, but feel it. Feel it. It's the repetition of planting the idea in the subconscious mind that is the trick. It's the idea that's planted that is the desire. Way back in religious, they say, desire comes from the Latin, dea sire, to give birth to the children. Your ideas are your children. Don't let them be stillborn. Feed them often, feed them every day. Stay emotionally involved with that idea. Don't listen to anybody that tell you why you can't. Only listen to people that tell you how you can. Make this the breakthrough of your family, of your friends, of everyone you work with. They'll follow you. Share it with them. Willingly give, graciously receive. It's a secret for living. But understand desire is the idea that's properly planted in the subjective mind that's attempting to express itself through action. You see, it's the idea in there that causes the body to act. It not only causes the body to act, dictates the vibration the body's in, that dictates what you attract. See, action and reaction are equal and opposite. That's a law of the universe. Emerson said, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, that's the law of laws. Why? Because that's the way everything works. Action, reaction, the law of cause and effect. Get in the right vibration, you don't have any ever concern with what you're going to attract. You will attract everything that's required for the manifestation of the image. Andrew Carnegie made that very clear. Any idea that is held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Emotional involvement with your want is the desire. That's where it happens. Now, when the paradigm tries to reject it, you've got to override the paradigm. The paradigm's going to give you ideas in your conscious mind to knock the want out and tell you why you can't. Your paradigm's giving you what you've got, and that's what you don't want. Go after what you do want. Get emotionally involved. And it's the repetition of being emotionally involved with what you want that fixes a desire in your subjective mind. Then it's automatically working in your favor. But understand this, clearly understand this. The results you're getting are an expression of what you've desired in the past. Most people see desire as a positive concept. It can be both. What did Carnegie say? Any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Subjective mind is totally deductive. It has no inductive reasoning capacity. It can only accept what you give. And if you're worried, that can turn into the desire. If you're thinking negative thoughts, that turns into the desire. We must override all that. We're operating with understanding. People don't desire what they don't want consciously and deliberately. They're doing it because of ignorance. They don't understand. That's where I lived for 26 years. As I started to understand, I changed it. And when I found out, I build a picture of what I want. Doesn't matter how it's going to happen, it'll happen. Then I get emotionally involved, and I stay emotionally involved.